outside and say.
I walked what we went.
I can't see a damn thing if they walk. I can't see a damn thing.
Yo, what's going on, family? We're live on Zoom, we're live on YouTube as well. Sheesh! Look, we're gonna get started in a couple more minutes. If you guys can see me, well, my camera's not on right now. So if you guys can hear me, make sure everything's working. Let me get a 1-1 in the chat if you guys can hear me, and we'll be getting started very shortly. Very nice. We'll be getting started shortly.
Yeah. They like Stevie. They can't see me. They won't beat me. I'm in that guinea. Looks like zucchini. Wanna feed you. It ain't need me. She won't please me. Cause she need me. Her like me. They like mine. 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 We shoot our helicopters. Monsters. seen some niggas down the block that they from here. No, I got a lot, but I need some damn more, yeah. If I catch the ops, then I'm up in the...
All right, let's get this show on the road. Okay. Yo, can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? We're live on YouTube. We're live on Zoom as well. Sheesh. You guys should be able to hear me. You should be able to see me. Okay, amazing. So, guys, first things first, I want to welcome every single one of you guys to tonight's call, because we have got some absolutely some saucy sauce to go through. So with no further ado, let's just get right into this. Let me share my screen and let's just get right into the source of it. So if you guys are new to Chart Check and this is your first time ever hopping on Chart Check and you're thinking, you know, what's going on, what normally happens on these calls? So firstly, what we normally do is, one sec, let me just do this. Get that working. Normally what we do first is I'm going to show you guys some charts. I'm going to show you guys some trades we've taken to help you guys train your eye to actually profitable setups, to what are the correct setups you guys need to be taking, because at the end of the day, it comes down to training your eye. If you don't know what you're looking for, like, look, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So if you're unclear of what a profitable setup looks like, well, you're literally setting yourself up for failure, if I'm being honest with you. So the first thing we need to do is get clear on what our winning setups are. So what I want to do is show you guys a trade we took on Euro USD last week. And this trade was literally prior to NFP. And if you guys saw it, it literally, let's pull up a whole different chart. And obviously I'll walk you guys through it. Now, well, let's go into the before screenshot. So as you guys can see, this was the before screenshot. You can see just before NFP happened on Friday, 7th of May at 1:06 British Standard Time. And we're obviously going to get into this reaccumulation trade because this one here was absolutely saucy, especially how quickly it came to fruition as well. Now, if you guys do have any questions as well, will this live be posted on YouTube? Nope, it will not. But if you guys do have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. I'll do my best to answer any of them. And then, you know, near the second half of the call, I'll give you guys the floor where you guys can obviously submit trades. You guys can say to me, here you go, Kieran, here's a trade that I won. What did I do well? Or here's a trade that maybe I didn't win. Why did it not win? You know, what happened? Why did this trade miss out on? Or so on and so forth. So yeah, let's just get right into this. So as we see on this chart here, it was on the 7th of May at 1:06 p.m. So if we actually go back to that day and we rewind it, and I'll show you guys exactly what we was looking at, you know, before this trade happened. So again, as you can see, this happened before. So first things first, right? When we was looking at this trade, I'll be real with you. I was originally looking at this trade as a little distribution phase, but it actually turned into a reaccumulation. And this is just going to show you guys the power of staying open-minded to the market, because if a lot of people, right, they're marrying biases, man, they're getting so fixed in the market. But what you need to understand is the only thing that's true in the universe, the only thing that is true in the universe is that there is change. That is the only thing. That is literally the only thing, that there is change. So if the only thing we know is change, that means we have to be open to change, right? We can't be so fixated on our trade ideas. Again, we have to be open. So I'll walk you guys through this and exactly what we saw. So firstly, starting on, you know, on the higher time frames, I did notice that seasonality for the dollar index was actually a bullish month. So if we pull up the dollar index, actually we'll pull up a brand new dollar index chart and I'll show you guys what we was looking at before it actually came into fruition. So on obviously, like, normally this month is bullish for seasonalities for the dollar index, but again, I'm not just going to go based on seasonalities. If I'm looking at seasonalities, ideally I do want to go with them, but structure is more important. Right, structure is a lot more important. So when we was actually analyzing this chart, again, we'll replay, you know, dollar index to before it happened. We can see that, you know, there is a lot of heavy momentum, especially on the daily. We can see our fractal distribution as well. So if you're not thinking, wait, what do you mean? Where's that fractal distribution? We can see this format here, right? We had demand and at the market. Let me get a little arrow up so you guys can see it. A little arrow. Where's the arrow at? Here we go. All right. So let me get a little arrow going. Yeah, where's the arrow at? Cool. So we can see here, right, we had this first initial bullish day. So what does this mean? Obviously, this means demand come into the market. Now, notice how we went from a bullish market to a indecisive market. What we are seeing here is the story of demand turning into supply. We are seeing that demand get engineered into the market and then it lose its strength. If this is demand, if this is a true demand area, price shouldn't, why is it going to doji out? If anything, it should continue a lot higher. And then we saw that bearish engulfing candle after. So this already is showing me on the daily time frame that this is a distribution. And if we actually look at this on the 15-minute, you can actually see that distribution schematic, which is here, this whole distribution phase. You can see that distribution a lot clearly, right? What's defined by distribution? Your manipulation of the highs followed by a breaker structure to the downside. And that was exactly what we got here. So understanding that we distributed up there, well, think about it, if we're distributing, if supply's coming into the market up here, why am I going to be looking for buys? Why am I going to be trying to fight against the market? I'm going to go with what the market's doing. As we can see on the higher time frames, right? Our daily, we're setting up very, very bearishly. We also created a very nice gap. Now, if we start looking on our lower time frames, such as our hourly, such as our 15 as well, coming into those intraday time frames, we can see very, very nice bearish market structure, right? We can see, obviously, we've got our lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, followed by a lower low. So now we've got this lower low and our lower high. This is now our trading range. So because this is our trading range, what we need to do now is start to investigate areas and if institutions got involved here. How are we going to know? Well, first things first, we want to identify, obviously, our institutional candle. So if we see our institutional candle, we can see it very, very clearly here. Now, of course, we can come in and refine this if we want it to our redistribution here. So you can come in and refine that as well. Now, how do we know this is a valid institutional candle? Well, we can see a few things, right? We had a manipulation. We had a breaker structure, which we can see where's our structure. Obviously, our structure was here. We broke below structure, right? We broke below this price structure point because, again, like this, when the institutional candle was getting formed, there was stop losses, there was orders below that low. So if this is going to remain bearish and we want to see this as a valid institutional candle, we want to see all demand get wiped out of the market. If we're looking for sales, we don't want to be selling when there's demand in the market. So how do we see if there's supply? How do we know if this is a true institutional candle? We need to see it break that structure. As we can see, it left a very significant push. And because that was a very, very, very significant push, we can say that, okay, this is our institutional candle. And we had our imbalance as well. We had our 3 confirmations met. So this is saying that this is a very, very nice trade. So looking now at the dollar index, we can now use this to add confluence to our Euro USD trade. So if we have a bias now where we're going to want to be engaging in shorts from this area, how is this going to affect the rest of our currencies? Well, obviously that's going to mean that XXX, well, let's put it like this. That's going to mean that USD XXX pairs. So let's say, US dollar CAD, right? US dollar JPY, US dollar CHF, US dollar. I don't really trade US dollar like that. I just trade, the Euro USD, to be honest, and GBP. But anything like USD CAD, USD JPY, if the dollar index is going to go lower, so make it a little bigger. So if DXY is down, that means that USD XXX is also down. That also means that XXX USD is now up, right? It's because if the dollar index is going down and you're trading, a foreign currency, it just paired against the dollar, it's going to go up. So if now, let me ask you guys a question. I want to ask the viewers the question now. Obviously, we're live on YouTube as well, and for everyone in the Zoom as well. The YouTube is actually delayed, so that's kind of funny. But let me ask you this. If we've now got a bearish narrative, right? If we've got a narrative of the dollar index to go lower, how is that going to affect things like Euro USD? How would that affect Euro USD? Price can go up. That's it. Price can go up. Price can go up. Of course. So now we've got a potential bias. Now we've got a bias. So what we can now do is actually go on to our currency pair, which we're actually trading, which was, again, it was Euro USD. And if we rewind this to, the same time we was analyzing it, Euro USD is literally just the inverse of dollar index. So if we start looking at higher time frames as well, what can we start to see? Now, originally, I did see this. Now, to be honest, when I was analyzing, none of that bullish price action was there. If anything, when I first started looking at this, it was actually looking like this. Now, obviously, we did have a small supply zone here. But again, this is where you have to be very open to what the market is showing you instead of trying to impose your will onto the market. So we can see we had this supply zone here. Now, if we actually start to look on the lower time frames, we can actually see this distribution schematic that was formed. Now, this is why you have to be very careful with your schematics. You need to be open to what the market is showing you on our lower time frames. We can see, obviously, that when price came up, we obviously had our 3 drives to our upside. We had our 1, we had our 2, we had our 3, followed by obviously our breaker structure, right? Structure being here. Now, obviously we had this last point, we had this last breaker structure. Now at this point here, right, it's okay. Like if you're looking at this for shorts now, it's okay if you try to enter here, for example, and you got stopped out, it's okay. Like, I mean, to be honest, by the time it came to fruition as well, again, market rollover, not the best time. But if you're looking at something like that, that doesn't mean just because it hit your stop loss, it was necessarily a bad trade. It just means you need to focus more on your risk management. Like we shouldn't avoid losses in the market. Like a lot of people, bodies for BOS all the time. Wick is not a BOS, in my opinion, at least. So I always use bodies. So when it comes to, for example, something like this is why you have to be fluid and you have to be open to what the market is showing you and not be scared about taking losses. See, some people, they'll take a loss on a trade and start crying about it and fucking, you know what I mean, get all negative about it. Yo, losses are part of the game. If you can't accept losses, you shouldn't be trading, point blank, period. Like, it's part of it. You need to learn how to lose before you can win. So if you took this loss here, cool, no problem. If you're looking at this as a potential distribution now, there should be supply. Price should roll over to the downside. But if price is not rolling over to the downside, why is that? Why is price not rolling over to the downside? Because what's it starting to do? It's starting to actually reaccumulate. It's starting to actually reaccumulate. I'm not sure who was actually sent this Zoom out, my Zoom link out. But family, if you're in the team, please don't send the Zoom links out like this all the time. But yeah, so obviously, what did we see happen here? We had obviously this accumulation phase down here, at the lower time frame accumulation, which led obviously to an influx of demand. Now, what did we have after that? This accumulation actually came up to break our structure here. It broke our structure point here, defined by closure of the bodies, right? Why did we look at the bodies? Because that's where most of the volume was. That's where most of the volume was. So we can see we had our first breaker structure. So that is obviously our first bit of evidence that demand's now in the market. So now, as this is a reaccumulation, this is now looking at a reaccumulation because we're no longer in a distribution phase. We broke structures to the upside. This is no longer distribution. This is now confirmed accumulation. Why? Because we broke structure to the upside. If this is going to distribute now, and if this is going to roll over, it should just roll over, path of least resistance. But what happened? It accumulated. What's the intention? Now, if we actually use this as a future demand zone, you can actually see our price come back and respected that demand there as well. I'll show you. Now, again, the entry wasn't based off here because, again, time of day. What I saw now was this confirmed sign of strength up here. So if we pull up our reaccumulation schematic, real quick, just real quick reaccumulation. Where is it? We see our little reaccumulation schematic. We can actually start to label this up, right? We obviously have our initial preliminary supply, right? We have that initial preliminary supply. After our preliminary supply, what do we have? Buyer's climax. After buyer's climax, automatic reaction. Then we had obviously a potential up thrust, what we saw. And then we saw that U-turn. This is the easiest way to spot reaccumulation. One sec. One sec, family. Cool. So yeah, we obviously had this first distribution. Now, again, if that's distribution, it should continue to roll over. Price should continue to roll over, but it didn't. So because that is now a failed distribution, it has to be reaccumulation, right? The market can only do four things. Like it can literally only do four things. And what are the four things it can do? Well, it can either drop, accumulate and go higher. It can rally, distribute and go lower, or it can rally, accumulate, go higher, or drop, distribute and go lower. That's the only things it can do, right? That is literally the only things it can do. So stop overcomplicating it. Like, it's like, guys, keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. That's the only four things it can do. That's the only four things it can do. So if we're looking at a distribution, it's either doing that or it's either doing that. That's all it can do. It's all it can do. It's all it can do. So it's just about waiting and having that patience and creating your if-then scenarios to see if price will do it. If price doesn't give you your scenario, you're not going to engage. Simple as that. So if we didn't get our original scenario, it has to be this one. So now we've got a reaccumulation. We can start to obviously see, our shakeouts. Right? We can start to see our shakeouts coming in, starting to manipulate the lows. We can see, obviously, that last point of support coming in. Followed by your sign of strength. Now, After we've got that, this has confirmed our reaccumulation. This has now confirmed our reaccumulation. We're no longer looking at a distro. We're now looking at reaccumulation. Why? Because any supply was completely invalidated. Any supply was completely invalidated. This is why it's important to be fluid to what the market is. And this is why I don't trade a lot of currency bets. Like, if you're looking at like 50 different currencies, yeah, like you think of it like people, right? The more time you spend with someone, the more you're gonna know their personality, the better relationship you're gonna build with them. Like, if you're like, you know what I mean? If you're looking at so many different people, you're not gonna know their personality, you're not gonna know what they like, what they don't like. So if you're, for example, look, the man who chases 2 rabbits will catch none. Focus on 1 or 2 things, man. Concentrate your forces. Like, if I'm wrong on the distribution, calm. I can be right on the reaccumulation. See what I'm saying? This is why it's about being adaptable and being fluid to the markets. So after we got this, after we got our obviously our sign of strength, that validated this is demand. Man said your Instagram slapped me in the face. Bro, I'm telling you, fam, that's it. Like, concentrate your forces, bro. Like, a lot of people, yeah, like they're everywhere, man. You just got to do one thing or go through periods of intensity. If you want to like get into crypto, you want to learn some crypto, go through that for concentrate your forces on that. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Too many people are trying to chase 100 different things. Focus on 1 or 2, man. You know what I mean? What does Bruce Lee say all the time? Right? I don't fear the man who's practiced 10,000 kicks. I fear the man who's practiced 1 kick 10,000 times. So what I'm saying, you want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. You want to be a master of one. So we have this reaccumulation phase. So now what do we look for? Now obviously we can now identify that this is now our trading range. Right? This is now our trading range. This is where we're trading in between. We're trading in between these 2 purple lines. So I see a couple questions on YouTube. When you're boxing institutional candles, do you highlight the bodies of the candles or the wicks as well? Wicks as well. Why? Because the reason I would do the wicks as well for institutional candles is because that's where the supply or the selling came in. So look here, right? So this is an institutional candle, right? Selling came in the market here. Or actually, no, if you really want to deep it, the institutional move actually came in here. It actually came in here. But we're just refining it to here. We're just now just refining it. Right now, again, if you want to know about the lower time frame refinements, you just go into the boot camp and obviously spend a lot more time watching those. Plug into people like Zach McDonald on Go Live, and they'll teach you a lot more about your lower time frame refinements. But yeah, here's obviously our our demand zone, and then from there, now there's a few ways you could have played this. Now, personally, I just played this by literally just putting my entry here, literally put my stop loss just below the low, just to be nice and safe. As we can see on the screenshot, just below the low. Now, you could have revised your stop loss if you wanted to, just below here if you wanted to, just below this demand. However, like, I understood news was coming out, NFP is going to come out. We're going to be in a very volatile environment. Brokers are going to really manipulate spreads. So I don't want to be taken out due to spread. So I want to make sure I'm giving myself a little bit of breathing room. Of course, you could have, narrowed it there if you wanted to. Personally, again, I just took it here. So now we've got our entry. Where are our potential targets? So if we start to zoom out a little bit, we've got a lot of inefficient price action. Up here. We've got a lot of imbalance up here that wants to get met. A lot of imbalance here. We can also see another institutional candle here, which we can actually come back up to because we know price is going to want to be mitigated there. We also know there's going to be liquidity above our highs as well. So we can actually continue and extend this as a target. Now, if you want to, you can actually come down and actually refine this even further. Now, this trade actually gave a perfect fractal accumulation as well. So to be honest, there's a few more things that came into this trade as well, such as the daily open. Notice how like one thing I want you guys to start thinking about is where am I in the candlestick, right? We had our fractal accumulation, right? Fractal accumulation. And look where we came into, right? Look where our POI was. How interesting is it that demand zone we was looking at in the reaccumulation was below the open of our daily candlestick. It was below the open of that daily candlestick. How convenient is that? How convenient is that price came below the daily opening price? If you want to get the low of the day, buy below the daily open. what happened, right? How convenient now. And look, and there's also a 4-hour reaccumulation as well, 4-hour institutional candle. Confluence. And then from there, it was literally just a case of pulling the trigger. As we can see, price did its thing. Or maybe on the higher time frame. Price came in. Wait, let me go back. Price literally came in, triggered, as you can see, and absolutely just went huge. Now, again, this is guys, I want you to understand that like news, you shouldn't be afraid of news. You should obviously be prepared. You should be prepared for news. Be prepared in terms of, be careful of, slippage, things like that. But don't be scared of it, because if you're actually looking in alignment with the true order flow of the market, news is literally just an excuse for liquidity. It's literally just an excuse for liquidity. Where'd that go? Come back. I want you in the middle. Yeah, literally, we can go through this trade back here as well if you guys want. But like, if you want to see something mad about the fractal nature of the market, look at this, right? On the literally didn't give any M1 entry because obviously NFP just caused it to just go mad. But if we actually start to let's really look into this. I want you guys to understand fractals. Like if we look here, we come down to the 5 second, you can see a perfect, maybe 15 second might have been cleaner. We can see a very perfect reaccumulation schematic. Very, very perfect accumulation. Like you can't make this up. The fractal nature of this market, absolutely beautiful. So firstly, does anyone have any questions about this position so far? Price always sets up perfectly before a big new move. Literally, bro. Literally, you can't make it up, bro. Every time. Gosh, I'm late. How did you change the text or the background trading view? That's supposed to be Euro USD. You got to be master of coin for that. No, I'm joking. Isn't it? It's literally, it's just an anchor text. I just changed. Look, I just changed it. What did I do? I came here. I just changed your pacey. Like I said, just left it there. Yeah, very nice. But yeah, very like you literally can't make this up. Like literally, you can't make the fractal nature of this market up. So does anyone have any questions about that? Does that make sense to why we took that trade and how it came to fruition? Hope it did. But yeah, literally, you can't make it up. Absolutely perfect reaccumulation. And it went even higher. So you could have even held that trade for longer. So yeah. Would you risk lower during news? It depends on the news event. Personally, I just risk a normal amount. I can't lie. I just risk normal amount. I can't lie. But you can do. Depends on obviously, like how you feel this trade's gonna go. Like, what's the probabilities? You know what I'm saying? Is it meeting all your rules? Firstly, if it's not meeting your rules, you shouldn't take it. But if it's meeting all your rules, just take it, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying could you review that later? What do you want me to review, bro? I'm not sure. What is the FTMO rules on trading in news and what should I consider? I don't really trade FTMO that much anymore, to be honest. So I would say go to there and look on their rules. Yeah, I would say that. But like when I used to trade it, there wasn't really any rules like that. It was literally just his stop loss or TP. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. What time did you execute the trade? So this trade was literally just after New York Open, just before NFP. So New York Open was here. Was here, this green line here. New York Open was this green line here. New York opened at 1 o'clock, started that green line, dipped down, and then NFP literally came out and obviously caused that liquidity we wanted to see. No, not even, man. Like, fingers of FTMO, like it's cool, but I think it's overrated. Would you take a trade if it would, like, because how I see it, yeah. End of the day, like it's my capital. I want my capital, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's good, obviously, to help you build capital, but like, end of the day, it's not your money. You know what I'm saying? FTMO is not your money. It's like, for example, storing your crypto in Coinbase compared to storing it in your own wallet. You know what I mean? what is your advice for someone to about to start the FTMO challenge? Firstly, get rid of the word challenge. It shouldn't be a challenge, because it's only a challenge if you don't know what you're doing. Let's be real. So I'd say do the free trial first a few times. Make sure you can pass the free trial at least 2 or 3 times, and then just do it. Yeah, Harry, that's a good strategy. Obviously get your FTMO, get your withdrawal, and then always put it in your own account, bro. You don't want to be stuck on FTMO. Like, the only purpose of FTMO is to literally withdraw. That's it. Like, that's literally it. Like, so many people are trying to, like, I remember someone once trying to tell me to compound FTMO. Don't do that. Because even if you have, right, let's say with FTMO, yeah, I'm talking like an affiliate right now, but let's say, for example, you've got the 100K account. All right. If, for example, you grow it to 150 and you lose 10%, or you even lose more than 5% in a day, the whole account's gone. You're not getting that profit back. So imagine you lose, you know what I'm saying? You forgot to put a stop loss on the trade, or you just make a silly mistake or you over leverage or something by a little mistake, the whole account's gone. Like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in control of my money. I don't want someone else telling me, you know, if you lose this amount, like, I'm not giving you the account. Fuck that, bro. Like, it's good at the start, don't get me wrong, but longer term, man, you don't want to be trading for someone else. You want to be trading for yourself. You want to be having your own, controlling your own capital. Like, it's good, don't get me wrong, to build it up. But again, like, controlling your own capital, controlling your own money. Because what if one day, right? What if one day you grow FTMO to 1 million, like, and they just disappear and take your money? You're fucked. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with that. Message restricted, bro. If you're putting links on YouTube, I don't think YouTube lets me send links. But yeah, let's get into some of your guys' trades. If you guys have any trades you guys want me to look at, then obviously on the Zoom, we can definitely get into those. If not, we can start to get into what's happening for next week. To be fair, I wonder where's Doge at. How's it reacting? Very nice. Very nice. Doge to $1. Doge to $1. I have a case study to show I've been working on. Yeah. Do you want to share your screen and get into it? Where are you? You should, bro. Your co-host. You shouldn't be able to unmute.
Oh, lit, man. I didn't know I could do that. Lit. Shush.
What you saying, my brother?
Working on this case study, yeah. I'm pretty happy with it, but I'd just like to hear your thoughts on it and then just see what you find.
Yeah. You should just be able to share your screen.
Oh, this will stop. Yeah. Lit. Okay, cool. Where is it? That's it. All right, cool. So let me get right into it, right? So let's go on the what? Why is it working?
I like the child colors, bro.
I had a very nice inspiration. I can't lie. But anyway, on the weekly time frame, you can see that, you know, price is just clearly like trending downwards, right? Like heading down, up, down, etc., right? Now, if we start to zoom in a bit more, you can see that you have this last institutional move that led to this low here, just like put like a circle on it. And as we retrace back into this, like, you know, this institutional candle, we made a new low, right? And so then if we scale this down to the 2-day, and just zoom out a bit, you can see that that's where that institutional move happened, right? Like, we manipulated the highs, break structure to the downside, right? So this is where structure is being held. Like, this is our trading range, right? So all of this is just a complex pullback, right? It's all it is. You know, on a lower time frame, you're going to be trending like higher, but like in terms of the actual trend, it's just a complex pullback, right? And if we step it down to the 3-hour time frame, you know, like as we approach that, you know, that 2-day point of interest, we built this distribution schematic, very clean schematic. I cannot lie. Like, all of the confirmations were hit in this schematic, right? The only one that wasn't hit is that from this up thrust, we never came to 50% of the trading range. That's the only thing that really, like, made me a bit like, but I didn't enter straight away, right? Anyway, so we built this schematic, and then I remember, like, if you go to the hourly, like after we built this schematic, you know, we built this like little accumulation, right? There was even like divergence on it, I believe. Oh, wait. There was even divergence on it, right? So like we built this accumulation which did not hold at all, and just turned straight. Like reset the chart or something, and just turned straight into like redistribution, right? Like you can see like continuous manipulation of the highs. And what I really like, which is like, then I'm kind of glad that you mentioned like the fractal nature of the market, is like if you scroll down or like zoom in, you can see that like at that UTAD of like the redistribution, you had fractal distribution, right? Like you can't make this stuff up. You really can't make this stuff up. I think I caught an entry like here, I believe, or here, one of the two. But yeah, right. So it's another sign to say like price should be going lower, right? Like if so much supply is being engineered into the market, right, there'd be no reason to be looking for long positions, right? So yeah, we had that fractal distribution. Let me just take it back out of replay mode. And then potential. We have this like from the distribution. You know, we broke the structure points. We had a break structure to the downside, and we've engineered so much liquidity, bro. Like I couldn't even tell you how many stop losses, how many retail methods have been engineered or sell positions have been executed at this like, let's call it like ceiling or like supply zone, right? And then like just got, you know, your beautiful like, you know, your last buy to sell movement that left a little bit of imbalance as well. And it has broken structure to the downside, right? Targets. So let's get into some targets. So your targets, my first target was these twin lows here. It's just a singular low on the daily. And it's a long wick, and we know what do we know? We know that liquidity is engineered where above old highs and below old lows, right? So there's liquidity here. On the 4 hour, I believe it's on the 4 hour. Clean trend line liquidity. I couldn't tell you how many people bought, you know, just buying on the trend line, right? And then next target, equal lows, huge equal lows being printed. And then my final take profit, if you're swinging this and you're looking to hold, would be to make a new low, you know, take out the last lot at the bottom of the range. And that's really the case study I've been working with. The only two things that are putting me off right now is because we've had this like retracement here. Like I know that the leg started up here, right? And like on a higher time frame, like this is just one move, right? Wasn't meant to be so aggressive, but this is just one move, right? But I just can't ignore it. Like I just can't ignore the fact that there's just equal highs here and there's just this open area in here. Like to me, that just looks like it just looks too juicy, right? Like it looks too textbooks, and I'd be silly to ignore it, right? The only thing that puts me off is that if you follow the structure on the hourly time frame, like if this is the breaker structure here, what? I think I pressed the wrong. That's the wrong button. But if this is the breaker structure here, and then this is your retracement, we have already had another breaker structure, right? So to trade in this area would be going against structure, right? Because if your structure is being held there, you would have to break structure. So obviously that's why it's just a point of interest. And you know, if this is to come into fruition, you know, you'd have to wait for like your lower time frame confirmations, like in this area, you know, probably like some form of a schematic to then take it lower. But that's really like the case study that like I've been working on in it. So I'd just like to get your thoughts on it, bro.
Yeah, bro. There's not too much I can say, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you just, like, of course, it looks good. Everything you've marked up is valid. Because obviously there's no like, you haven't got any points where you're looking to enter or anything. I can't really comment too much on it. It's a valid analysis, bro. I can't lie. Like, but obviously there's because you haven't got any like profit and loss targets. There's nothing else I can really say. But obviously, if you're looking for it to go lower, I don't see why I wouldn't. I don't really trade that, but everything looks good, man. Like the best thing you can do is take the trade and journal it, bro. Like that's it. Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna know if it works, right? Is if it works out.
Very true.
But yeah, like everything, like you know what I'm saying, because obviously that's an analysis. I mean, it seems cool. So what are you looking to do now? You're looking to sell it from where?
From here, from this hourly point of interest. I wouldn't sell it until it got to this area. Like down here, like absolute no go. Like I'm not selling it here. I wouldn't even want to sell it like anywhere in here. Like I wouldn't even want to sell it anywhere in there, like, because there's just liquidity, right? There's one touch here, there's another touch here. Like that's at least 3 touches of the same point. Like I don't do trade triple tops or double tops or anything like that. Like to me, that is just liquidity. That is a pool of money that has just been built up over time, right? And one thing that I've learned is a bigger cause is a bigger effect. You know, these highs have been starting engineered from like 23rd of April. That's like almost like 2 weeks of price action. Just being engineered around here. So
yeah, I mean, it could definitely play, bro. Like, obviously, the only way you will know is if it does or not. But like, I mean, seasonally, I was putting up Swiss franc seasonally. Seasonally, Swiss franc just rallies from April, so that would mean that would drop. So it seems cool. Obviously, it lines up. Seasonalities line up. Go on the higher time frames.
What are we talking
Like
about?
4 hours / daily. So obviously, looking to engage in that 1 hour zone. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there is this 3-day IC as well that I was looking at as well. That this last like 5 to 7 here. Like I can't ignore that. I can't ignore this imbalance in here. But
I mean, looking at that, it looks pretty heavy at the moment, bro. I can't lie. Like the way the kind of daily candlesticks are forming, it does look pretty heavy. I can't lie. But again, it could play out, bro. Like obviously, just set your alerts, the areas you're looking at, and if it meets your rules, engage. Like, that's the only way you can learn, man. You know what I mean? That's the only way is just execute and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? See what happens. Did it go well? Yes. Cool. Do it again. Did it not go well? Don't do it again. You know what I mean? But everything, like, it seems calm. Everything you're saying, obviously, you got your higher time frame point of interest. Wait, go on show me your daily point of interest.
It's a 2-day POI. It's this one in here.
Yeah, I mean, led to break. Yeah. I mean, yeah, everything looks good so far. Yeah, everything looks good so far. I mean, I've got a bit of a bias on GBP gaining a lot more strength soon. But that's GU. I don't look at GBP CHF. So again, it could be completely different. But I mean, yeah, bro, like it seems calm. It seems calm. Like, it seems like a good situation. Obviously, if it plays out, take his trade, man. That's the only way you will learn. But it looks good, bro. Like, there's nothing really else I can add to that.
The only thing that I was looking at that would really like throw me off was between these 2 points here on the monthly time frame, it diverged. Is it here? Yeah, from here to here, you know, you can see you got that divergence. Our price going lower on the indicator on the chart, but on the indicator it's going higher. And this almost looks like it's printing some form of an accumulation. You know, you've got
it's broke structure. It's broke structure on the monthly.
See, I was looking at that. And that's what I was going to ask you as well, because I remember you said like you look at the candle bodies, and you already cleared this up, so I don't need to ask. But I was going to say, like, do you wait for that body to close above the wick of the last structure point, or does it just have to close the body?
Just above the body. But again, this comes to like everyone's specific trading plan, and you have to be consistent with what definition you're going to use, because like if, for example, one day you're using bodies, one day you're using wicks, your results are not going to be consistent. You need to be consistent, obviously, with the approach. So if you're going to use the approach of the bodies closing above, then yeah, that's a monthly breaker structure. So yeah.
Because this really looks like an accumulation. Like when I was looking at this, I was like, I cannot even ignore this, like, and manipulation of equal lows as well, right? Like,
yeah, no, I can't lie. That, yeah, like I said, bro, like monthly, the height, like GBP does look like it's going to gain a lot of strength. Again, manipulation equal lows. Like me and Pips are saying that, like Pips was telling me that he reckons like GBP can honestly reach around back to the US dollar at least like 10 to 15 pounds per dollar. So I agree with him as well. Like, I feel like we could have a lot of strength coming into Great British Pound. But you have to see, man. Obviously, if it meets your trading plan, take it, because obviously, like, depends what you're trying to target.
But yeah, we'll just see. That's one of these when we just have to wait for price action to deliver itself.
Yeah, Harry, that's it. 10 to 15 per dollar, bro. Like that's happened before. Like that's literally happened before. I'm telling you, it's gonna be cheap, bro. We're lit, fam, bro. Trust me, being in the UK is lit. It's lit. But yeah, I mean, like obviously with that trade, like I said, on the higher time frame, obviously it looks like you're starting to accumulate at that break of structure. So yeah, I mean, go down to like the weekly or daily or 4 hour again.
On the daily. I'll just have to see. Because
yeah. Obviously, like if it meets your trading plan, bro, take it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the best thing I could say. If it meets your trading plan, bro, take it. Yeah, like obviously if it comes up to that zone, if you get like a distribution on it, but then like the only thing I would say is like, okay, if this is a supply zone, you know, why is it not causing a significant push to the downside? Why is it stalling so much here? Maybe a reaccumulation to go higher.
especially if we take out this low. That would be really nice because that means that you've almost ended. You've taken out the people you're trying to take out, so bigger players can get in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that daily looks heavy. Like more time, it looks like you'll probably see again. Like this is all speculation. I'm not taking trades off this, but like it looks like it'll probably just drop, base, drop, maybe manipulate lows and then come higher to reaccumulate. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
But yeah, bro. Jeez, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Jeez, I got you, man. But yeah, for me, it's your trading plan, bro. Take it. Worst, like that's another thing. Like don't try to avoid losses so much. Just take the trade and see what happens, bro. Like that's the only way. Make a decision and review. Plan, do review. Pain plus progress. Sorry, pain plus reflection equals progress. So the only way you're going to get better is to take a trade and to journal it. Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's honestly the only way, bro. Like it sounds blunt, it sounds rude, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Really? It's just how it is, man. Yeah, bro. Jeez, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Got you, my G. I got you, man. Anyone else got anything they want to share, or anyone got anything they want me to look at? I mean, that will just go into $1. Dodge the $1. Let's go. Yeah. I mean, we can look at Euro USD for next week. Like dollar index. I was looking at dollar index. Obviously, it's pretty bearish. I mean, seasonally, dollar index may want to rally. We are coming into this, daily little demand zone as well. So obviously, have to see how price kind of what it does in this area here. Obviously, what it does, like again, it's kind of my little notes. Again, seasonality suggests that DXY should rally in May. We are obviously approaching a potential demand on the higher time frame. But again, like that's really not what's relevant. What's relevant is what price does in this area. Like this, I don't care about any of this. I care about this. And I want to see what happens in this area. If I start manipulating lows, breaking structure to the upside, cool. Like now I'm going to look, you know what I mean? Now I'll look for sells in Euro USD. But to be fair, it looks pretty heavy right now. I can't lie on, especially on the daily. Like weekly. Yeah, weekly is heavy. Literally just drop, base dropped, redistributed to this is, and it closed below. So yeah, probably just clap all of that, to be honest. Come take all these low resistance lows. Oh, again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, maybe we have some retracement with dollar index. Like, obviously, it's pretty bearish, so we could see some retracements back to the upside before going lower. So, how would that affect things like that? Look for longs on XSX USD until proven wrong. So things like Euro USD, GBP USD could potentially be going long. So if we look at Euro USD now, so current swing, obviously we just took this high. We just took this old high here. So we may be due for a little retracement soon. We are coming into a daily supply zone as well. So this may want to start retracing. However, I'm pretty bullish on this, man. Like especially on like the monthly on Euro USD, like this thing looks very, very, very bullish. Like we could just see a fat pop up, like at least like another, like come and at least engulf this to go higher. Come clear that monthly high, and obviously see what happens in there. Because look, if we go on the monthly as well, obviously we reacted from this demand zone here. So it looks like we're gonna continue even higher. Again, that did break structures. That did break your relative structure down there. So there is a lot of targets to go higher as well. Plus, like I'm looking at the US dollar to just completely die super long term. Like if you just want to go super, super long term for a second, like monthly, this thing is going to crash. And even if you zoom out on the monthly, yeah, like the US dollar just is just a downtrend. Like 85, you know what I mean? It's a fat downtrend. So potentially looks like this whole thing just going to completely just roll over and just die. Again, that's super, super long term, right? But obviously we'll have to see kind of to take trades based on it now. I don't see anything on Euro USD to take this week yet. Obviously I've got little biases, like obviously kind of maybe retrace to come higher. I would like to see that again, get some imbalance fill up there. So areas to enter again, I don't really see anything. So tomorrow, obviously we'll see kind of how price action is tomorrow in London or New York. Probably not going to trade anything tomorrow, to be honest. Going to be patient and actually see what happens. At which point during the analysis do you factor in seasonalities before I analyze? So my trading plan, again, everyone's trading plan is different. It's not what works, it's what works for you. My trading plan, the way I trade, the way I've developed to trade is I look at my dollar index first, then I look at seasonalities, and then I go into my charts like that. But you have to see what works for you. You know what I'm saying? Like what works for you. Because sometimes the seasonality is like, again, you just got to remember that's a guide and structure is more important than seasonalities, but it's still important. So yeah, I mean, Euro USD, a couple areas to monitor. I have to see what happens. I mean, I'm going to set an alert here. And obviously, if we come back to this demand zone, it would be nice to see another little accumulation, take it higher. But again, we have to kind of monitor. Obviously, I'm monitoring this level here. I had a prior supply zone, now turned demand. So obviously, we'll kind of see what price wants to do within this area. Again, if we get our lower time frame accumulations, cool, we can take the trade higher. If we don't engage. We just wait. But yeah, that's literally it. To be honest, I mean, ETH, is there anything on ETH? ETH potentially distribute, maybe come, like I would like ETH to come down here. This 4-hour demand zone, unless it's reaccumulating. We'll know if it's reaccumulating if we obviously break above the high. So obviously if we break above the high, pull back, continue buying. But it looks like we're just going to come and drop to potentially down here. This 4-hour / daily demand. So obviously I'd like to see a lower time frame kind of accumulation in there and see kind of what happens from there with ETH. Also this. Peep 4-hour on EU. What are we looking at? What are on the 4-hour?
Bro,
Look at Dom. You might have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, it lines up with the 8-hour. Maybe you'll see it better on like the 8-hour. Just go on the 8-hour. It's that one at the bottom there that manipulated the lows. Nah, a bit below it. Yeah.
Yeah, could do. I mean, like I'm looking at this as kind of like, well, if I'm looking at this as okay, well, if that reaccumulated there, I mean, it could do 100%. It could do. Obviously, we have to see when it comes down there. I'm looking at this as if that's the reaccumulation, and that's where the demand's really in the market. I'd like to see reactions from there. But again, like this is where trading, like this is what a trader is. A trader is not being right or wrong. It's just having scenarios in it and having rules to place trades on. Like, because obviously, if it comes down here and I don't get what I want to see, I'm not going to take it. It could 100%. It could come down there, innit? 100%. It could do. That on the daily. Oh, that's daily as well. So 100% it could do, innit? 100% it could do. We'll just have to see what again, because it's not like for me, it's not the institutional candle that's important. It's kind of what happens in the institutional candle. It's the storyline, it's the narrative behind it. Like a lot of people, like I feel like get too caught up in like trading patterns. But this week we pretty much accumulated a week. If you look at it like this, literally had put it like this, put the weekend on. We can see our weekly cycle. We had a very nice accumulation. I'm noticing, like throughout the weeks, each week you just get a cycle. Like, look, get that accumulation over the week. Last week we had a distribution over the week. Week before, we reaccumulated over the week. Week before, again, reaccumulated over the week.
That is mad.
Week before, reaccumulated. Week before, accumulated. Week before, fucking distributed. Like you see that? You see those weekly cycles, bro? Like weekend to weekend. It's naughty, man. It's naughty, bro. But yeah, that's something like I'd look into as well.
What's that indicator you have for your weekends?
Yeah, weekends. I literally just typed in weekends in it, and then these black lines are just session breaks down here. Just like that. Do you think DXY is a must? For my trading plan it depends what your trading plan is, bro. You see what I'm saying? For my trading plan, the way I trade, yes. Let's see what Harry's got. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Very nice. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Demand, supply, demand. I like that. I have to see. Again, it's what happens within this area now, and that's what's important. Because obviously, it's what happens in this area. What's important. But obviously, we're now in that markup phase, so we could even just reaccumulate and go higher. We'll have to see. So definitely be watching that zone. I think that's the same. What price is that? 1.2. Yeah, it's the same zone. yeah, it's the same zone. So again, we'll have to see kind of what happens within that. If you look at the 90-minute, yeah, we have to see what happens in there. Oh, 90-minute looks sexy. So yeah, we'll have to see set alerts at, I mean, I've got one set at 1 point, what level is that? 1.20877. Actually, I'm gonna put that higher. I want that here. I'm gonna set an alert at 1.20928 and see what happens. And obviously see what happens in there. And when it comes to, because this higher time frame, what we used to do it now. Lower time frame. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens in it. Like again, there's nothing there. Like sometimes you just got to know when to walk away, set your levels, and just leave it. Do you identify major structure by bodies? Bodies. This candle. If anyone wants me to look at any currencies, then we can look at some. Yeah, that's good. Obviously, like this one, of course, there is. So again, it's what happens in this zone. I wouldn't take trades just off that candle personally, because obviously there's a little bit of imbalance below. Of course, we had that reaccumulation there. Demand should be resting here. It should be, but again, there's no point imposing our will on the market. Let's see if the market wants to do what we want it to. If it doesn't, we don't engage. If it does, we engage. If then scenarios. If it does do what we say, we take. If it doesn't, we don't. Simple. Keep it 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 simple. What's my win rate? 0%. Let's see what Frankie said. Oh, that's for gold, yeah. We'll have to see what happens, huh? We'll see. Let's see. Looks good though. What is the best trading day which appears to give you the most success? Thursdays or Mondays for me. GBP, but I don't really like look at it like that in terms of that. It's like if there's a setup, there's a setup. Because again, like again, there's so many different things. Like if there's because again, what setup you're looking at, you're trading retracement, continuation. You know what I'm saying? Like each day's got its own agenda. Everything's doing something. Like every move is intentional. So I don't let that affect my biases. Like, oh, I only trade Thursdays. That's not me. Like if there's a setup, there's a setup. I don't care when it when it happens. Like days of the week wise. Like obviously we want to build confidence. Like, okay, is it alignment with the weekly cycle? Are we getting those 3 days bullish price action, 2-day reversal? Again, it's all situational. But that's why you have your own trading plan to attack the market and what to do in those situations, if that makes sense. So for me, I don't look at days of the week as in like, oh, I'm only going to take a trade on this day, if that makes sense. But like I will incorporate them as in like, okay, have we been rallying for 3 days? Have we been dropping for 3 days? What's the higher time frames doing? Because ultimately price doesn't really know time and time doesn't really know price. Oh yeah, last week was literally textbook, bro. Yeah, you can't make that up. Where was we at? Bearish, reversal. Can't make that up. GBP USD has broke a major structure point and challenged the second major. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at GBP USD, huh? In terms of, can you speculate on what may happen next? You can. So this is what I'm talking about, Harry. We're going to the moon, huh? To the moon. Again, this chart hasn't even got all the data on it, but yeah. So top down. Let's have a look. To be honest, I didn't really see any entries on this, to be honest, but it's going to go higher. Come up here. 1.4100, most likely. Yeah, clear a lot of rest and liquidity here. Clear a lot of rest and liquidity up there. But to be honest, I don't really see any trade ideas or setups at the moment. But I'm probably going to look at like what's more stronger tomorrow. Because obviously like the market's not moving now. So we don't know where the strength is. If GBP is stronger than Euro USD, I like to trade the leader out of the groups. So yeah, but to be honest, I don't really like this because it's still range bound. I'm not really looking to take anything, to be honest, on GBP USD. I'm looking at Euro USD a bit more. It's a lot more cleaner than that. But if I had to speculate just for the sake of it, well, if we manipulated lows, I would say the odds are on going higher, but I don't know. I haven't really been liking GBP USD recently. I can't lie. I'm liking Euro a lot more. But yeah, let's have a look at some charts. Man, like MacBook. Man, like MacBook. You know what are you saying? I don't know what that is. Yeah, I wouldn't engage in that with the equal highs above there. To be honest, I wouldn't engage in that. I'm looking at this level of supply here on the dollar index at 90.800, because that's where the supply got induced to break structure lower. So I feel like if it wants to come higher above there, I wouldn't engage there on this one because there's equal highs above it. I mean, it could respect it, but my trading plan says I wouldn't engage on that position there. But this one, that could be. But I thought, honestly, bro, I'll be real. If it doesn't respect this, it's gonna come a lot higher. I'm telling you, it's gonna come a lot higher, like. Up here, up to this gap, rebalance this, and then potentially go lower. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll have to see obviously what happens is like how price obviously reacts in these areas, because we've got a daily gap up here as well. So realistically, I want to see this be respected. If there's no respect here, then I feel like we're going to go a lot higher. Come clear these equal highs and obviously challenge up here as well. But again, that's my trading plan. At the end of the day, what matters is your trading plan. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really like the price action GBP USD, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really like the price action it, bro. To be honest with you. But if that suits your trading plan, I mean, like I see it, obviously I see it. Like the only thing that's not what I'm not liking about GBP USD is I was still trapped within this range here. Like I wanted to see it at least break above this high before coming back lower. Personally, because this is a level of supply. So I mean, it could obviously come react there, maybe fill you in. But again, I would want to see a nice cleaner breaker structure to the upside, a bit more evidence of demand. Because like looking at GBP USD for me, it's pretty range bound. Like it's kind of consolidating. I don't really want to be trading that for me. But for me, it's your trade. Like literally just ugly. Again, it could be accumulating to go higher potentially, but like I don't really like it, man. You've got equal lows down here. Like I don't really like it right now. So I think I'm just kind of staying away from this at the moment, personally. But that's not to say don't trade it. Like again, I'm not your financial advisor. Like my trading plan says I'm not going to take this. But if your trading plan, bro, if that suits you and your mind, you feel that's a good trade, take it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Take it. Because that's the only way you're going to get better. Like literally just take your trades and journal it, because you need data. Like you need to get data. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're going to do that is through experience. So, I mean, depends on what happens in that zone. You might see some nice reactions, but personally, that doesn't meet my trading plan. So I wouldn't be engaging in that myself. Only because of the higher time frame, what's going on. Because how we're kind of like, it's not really doing much. I don't really like it too much. But yeah. LTC USD, someone said. LTC. There you go. 2,800 for Litecoin. That's, yeah, I mean, yeah, long term. Short term. Have a look. To be let's have a look. So daily, potentially reaccumulating. Yeah, it looks like we're reaccumulating. See, depending on how this daily candle closes, give us a lot of insight. So the low that led to the new high. So let's show hourly structure. Boom. Oh, I don't like that equal lows, but we have to be. This is the only thing that's annoying about crypto. Every exchange is different data. See, on here there's no equal lows. On here there is. So what I'm doing now is I'm just looking at a series of different ones. I'm just looking at, okay, if they're all even liquidity, then like there's liquidity there. Some of them are, yeah. So something like this, again, if I'm margin trading this, again, investing is different. But I guess if you're margin trading this, it would be nice to see it come back, clap below the low, and then go higher. Let's see if there's an agenda. Let's see if there's imbalance in that zone, if it makes sense. Does it make sense? Maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, like if we're just going to go based off structure, let's see that push above there at least. But yeah, a lot higher, like 2,800 long term. And then how we're going to get there? Question. Yeah, so for me to engage, I'd want to come and see either, okay, two things. I'd either want to see price come down, clap the lows, come higher, BOS, mitigate, or I'd want to see it kind of, you know, give me a sign of strength, back up, LPS, lower time frame reaccumulation, and then go higher for Litecoin. So yeah, either that or come back down, clap these lows, break structure, mitigate, and then go higher. So that's Litecoin. Do you ever look at exotic pairs or only majors like EU and GU? Depends what you define by exotic. I mean, from time to time, I'll look at NZD USD and AUD USD, but it kind of depends on what Euro USD and GBP USD are doing, to be honest. Where's the volatility? But like, I don't really look at anything else, to be honest. Like, yeah, I mean, cryptos, of course, but like, yeah. And the reason before that is like, honestly, I just don't want to spread myself too thin. Like think about this, yeah. Think of, I'm trying to give you like an example outside of trading. Imagine trying to run imagine trying to run okay, imagine this, right? Imagine you got a marathon, right? People prepare how long for a marathon, right? They prepare for months, even years, running up to a marathon. Now, they do all that preparation for one race, or like, you know, however long it lasts. So they're going to do all that and have a long rest period after. So when people run for marathons, they're not going to train and do a marathon every single day, are they? If you do the marathon every single day, you're gonna be fucked. You know what I mean? Your mind's gonna be fried. So for me and the way I am, I don't like to be looking at too many things, because my results and what I've gathered from my data that I've got through the trades I've taken has told me that if I'm looking at too many currency pairs, it's not the best thing for my account growth. Because let's say, for example, I'm trying to trade everything and I miss the setup, like, or I miss it, or I hit stop loss, whatever, then I'm not even looking at that chart anymore. And then it may give me a beautiful reaccumulation or something like that to go higher. So I like to kind of focus on a few so I can be in tune with the market and just know kind of how it moves. Again, the man who chases two rabbits catches nothing every single time. So just keep it simple, man. Like, keep it simple. Like what I've found for myself, it's just a case of like sticking to my original idea, and whatever my original idea is, just being disciplined enough to stick to that idea, you know, like what's my bias? And then just not walking away from the chart so my alert gets triggered, you know, or doing something else apart from looking at the screen. So yeah. And the question is this going to reaccumulate? It's going to the moon though. For everyone who does Wyckoff, we're going to the moon. Wait, what is this? No, if BTC, my bad. The moon. Where are we? What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know what those colored lines are. Where is it? Where is the ETH-BTC chart? Where's my... It's the only thing about crypto, yeah. There's so many different data feeds. Yeah. ETH-BTC to the moon, bro. If one ETH is worth 1.7 Bitcoins, oh my God. That is my long-term target. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. If we get there, I think we might. Oh, oh, mate. Oh, bro. Oh, I have to see obviously what happens. You know? We have to see. XRP, I'm going to get high time for a bit of structure. Well, if you know you're going against structure, nah, I wouldn't take it that low because of this structure here. Low led to a new high. I wouldn't take it that low. I don't, honest, bro. I don't really understand what you're kind of looking at there to take that trade based on. To be honest, yeah, I don't really understand what you're looking at on that trade right there. To be honest, bro. And kind of why you're looking to go lower. Personally, like I'm not short in cryptos. Like we're in a mega bull market. Like that is the quickest way to blow your account. Yeah, because we're in such a mega bull cycle, right? It doesn't make sense to sell. Just buy. Keep it simple. Like, look, what is this? Like, selling against that is like we're in the mid bull market. It doesn't make sense to sell. Like, I mean, maybe cool when we hit next year. Calm when we're in the bear market. Of course, you can start selling. But because we're in there's so much demand for crypto right now. I wouldn't personally be selling anything, even on that margin. Because again, like margin trading, bro, like. You're gonna, you know what I mean? You stop loss quicker, a lot quicker. So with that, I personally wouldn't short it to do that and go against that structure like that. Personally, I personally wouldn't again personally. But if that's your trading plan, bro, take the trade. Don't let me influence you. Take the trade. If that's your trading plan, back yourself every single day. Because the amount of times where I've listened to someone else and changed my bias, it messed me up. So back yourself, bro. That's the only way you're gonna learn. But me and my trading plan, I wouldn't personally engage that for the short, just because of the mega bull market. And if you look at where you are, even on XRP, like we did have this massive accumulation. Right? We had this massive accumulation. So if anything, and we're in a daily demand zone, I would be very careful shorting that, bro. If you are, and you really want to short it, reduce your risk. You know, it's already reacting off this 4-hour demand zone as well. Yeah. I see that liquidity could come down, swoop that, go higher, but yeah. Just because of the look at this bullish structure as well. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. Doesn't really make sense to short that. Of course, it'd be a counter trend trade, but if you're counter trend trading, bro, your targets can't be out of the trading range. Right? If you're counter trend trading, bro, your targets need to be in the trading range because you're trading a retracement, right? If we look at structure theory for a second, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. You want to be trading these swings to create new higher highs. If you're trading a retracement, your targets can't be below here because you're trading a retracement. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense. Because now that's not trading a retracement. That's now trying to anticipate a whole new market. And I found, again, from my experience, that trying to anticipate is not good. You want to, again, let the market show you what it's going to do and do what it's saying. You know what I mean? That's you now saying, okay, I'm going to anticipate the market to come and violate this bullish structure instead of just going with the flow. You see what I'm saying? But again, it could end of the day though, bro. Back yourself. That's the best thing I would say. If the market, would you say right now to go on offense, accumulate as much crypto as possible? Yeah. Depends what one. Yeah, bro. Like with crypto, it's a 4-year cycle, bro. It's the same thing every 4 years. You have 2 years of a bull run, 2 years of a bear run. So if we go to this, the Bitcoin liquid index, nope, I don't know what that is. Yeah, that 100, bro. That's my strategy. I've been accumulating this since 2019. Like I brought crypto back here, bro. Like I was been here and back here as well. I was lit, but because look where we are in the bull market. We're like, I'm not saying there's no more opportunities left because there still is. You know, like Bitcoin is got left. I mean, Bitcoin's probably got left about like 500%. But yeah, it depends because obviously like we're in alt season right now. So because we're in alt season, money's flowing out of Bitcoin and flowing into the other coins. So when alt season finishes, the money's going to flow back into Bitcoin. So where is this? I'll show you. So look, if we pull up the Bitcoin dominance, we are on a madness right now, fam. We are coming. I want that low. I want that low. Will we get the low? We'll see. Everything right now is screaming death for everything, apart from yeah. So what this means is, as this chart goes lower, money flows out of crypto, out of Bitcoin, and flows into altcoins. So right now we're in alt season. So the bigger gains are in the altcoins, compared to obviously Bitcoin. But we will come out of alt season soon. And obviously, when we come out of alt season, like what I'm personally doing now is I'm trading more altcoins, because we're in alt season, and then I'm not even looking at cryptos in terms of US dollars anymore. I'm looking at it in terms of Bitcoin, because the only altcoins are just vehicles to get more Bitcoin, right? So I'm literally using the charts against Bitcoin to figure out where the best plays, putting my capital in the altcoins. Altcoins outperform Bitcoin, take the capital back into Bitcoin to capitalize that final run on Bitcoin to 378,000. So to answer your question, black and white, yeah, bro, 100, bro. Get the crypto. Trust me. Like, we're in a once in a lifetime. Well, I say once in a lifetime, but this is the biggest wealth transfer in the world, man. Like, if you're not investing all your money into cryptos right now, you're playing yourself. Yeah, or you can just watch. Like, honestly, bro, you can just plug into Picasso and Curtis Cobain. Like, they're literally, that's how I learn everything. So I'd say plug into them. If the market dips below demand zone, does it invalidate the demand zone? Depending if it closes below the demand zone or not. If the bodies close below, I would say it doesn't, because it's just manipulation. But yeah, it depends what the bodies do. It all depends what the bodies do. It all depends what the bodies do. GBP USD. I think we already looked at that, Samuel. Yeah, we already looked at GBP USD. I don't personally have anything on there. Like, the only things I'm looking at Euro USD right now for this week, right, is again these demand zones here. So we'll have to see what happens. How price respects, how it reacts in there. Again, I'm not taking trades just off that. I want to see some nicer price action in there. So yeah. Unless there's any more questions, family, we will just call it a day there. So I'll give you guys a little bit more time to ask any questions you may have. Or if you want me to go on any charts, do you want me to look at any currencies? Just let me know, family. Just let me know. Just let me know if you want me to look at any currencies. Just let me know. A little bit of paper trading for the lows. Gold is a very nice reaccumulation as well. Breakthrough season, literally, bro. You know the vibes, man. You know the vibes. So, family, for everyone in our squad as well, we literally have got chairman mentorship happening in literally 10 minutes time. So I'm going to put that in the group chat now. It's about to be insane. Do not miss that. But with that being said, family, I'll see you all at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. Anyone needs anything, anyone's got any questions, yo, let me know. I've got you guys' back. Let's elevate, let's grow. And yeah, I'll see you all at the top, family. Because you already know, man, the bottom is way too crowded. Let's get it. Sheesh.